Yo, what's poppin'? It's Peter Jackson, sitting down, first time with my guys at Underground Legends. Tell you a little bit more about myself, my album coming, you know what it is. Grew up wise, like just even before the music shit, like right now we're at Rotary Park in South Ajax. I literally probably partied here like every Friday night, Saturday night growing up as a kid, and then the school I went to is right around the corner, Lakeside Public School. Like I literally, as a teenager, like that, I think like even in these fields and shit, were probably the first time I was freestyling at like lake parties and house parties and stuff, and I was probably like 16, just kind of like just fucking around, like just kind of like smoking and drinking and stuff like that was really like my first kind of taste of music. My sister was really into R&B and shit, like SWV and all that kind of stuff, so I mean there was still like not hip hop, but like more like the urban music and stuff. And then like I think like Triumph and Wu-Tang and that kind of stuff was like the first stuff I'd really heard. But like 50 Cent and G-Unit, like when I was a kid, I thought I was part of G-Unit.
True, okay.
You know what I mean? My sister paid for me when I was like 16. I think it was my 16th birthday. My sister paid for me to record at the same studio Sum 41 recorded their first album in, which is literally like up the street here on Lake Driveway.
That's dope.
So my sister paid for me. I went and did like a freestyle on a record, and they had like an original beat. And I went in the studio, I recorded them, and then I pressed CDs. Like not even pressed, like I burned CDs, and went back to school with them and sold them for like $10. And then I don't even know what year in high school I was, but I was like I would have been 16. And then my best friend died when we were 19, and his mom had asked if anyone wanted to speak at the funeral. And I was like, you know, you can't really say no to that. It's an honor to speak at somebody's, you know, God forbid, but it's an honor. And I was like, yeah, I want to speak or whatever. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm not even good like talking in public, considering what I do, but I'm still not good with public speaking. I'll fuck it up. But I said yes, and then I ended up speaking to another artist who was like, you know, he was popping at that time, was Bishop Brigante from Scarborough. And Bishop got me a studio. I think it was even at his apartment on Kennedy or something. And I went in the studio and I recorded a record for my friend's funeral instead of speaking. So he's like, yo, on the hooks, talk. On the hooks, tell stories about your boy. Tell, you know, what you guys, you know, make people laugh, make them cry, that's what music does. So that was the first time I had recorded and like really understood what music could do, because we were moving super fast at that age, like incredibly fast. Yeah, I'm wearing one of the charms on this. These are all different charms from different things, but one of these charms is his. I got it in my personal studio, the one in my house. I got like a picture of him that's like it's like within my hand reach at all times.
True, okay.
So yeah, I think about him every day. I fuck with his sister and his mom and her family and stuff. So I think about him, and I think it definitely like just even day by day helps me make the right decisions. I feel like, you know.
Did you have a first like project or something that you did to really like put yourself on, or
yeah, it was called The Introduction, and it was like 7 songs. It was the first like real project I ever recorded. I had Royce the 5'9" on the album, and I had a video with him. And I think that was, I had Royce the 5'9" on the album. Oh no, the record was called In My Life. And I had Royce on the album, I had Crooked Eye on the album, I had Sizzla Kalonji on the album. And it was like, the first time I was in a real studio, the first time, you know. My first manager was a really big booking agent in the music industry, so he showed me a lot of shit. He opened the doors for me and kind of taught me about things like that. Like, I think we were doing Rock the Bells. I think we were opening, and then me and Royce had a show that night in Oshawa at my club, and we had recorded the record previously, obviously. So, you know, a lot of my stuff stems from business relationships. Yeah, I own like a promotional company, like an imprint called 90 Nickel. So that stands for like 905, and I've had that since like forever, right? Yeah. So it's just like, one time I was listening to Flow 93.5, like when I was a kid, and they were like, call 416-935-193 nickel. And I was like, oh shit, they made the 5 the nickel. So it's like 90 nickels. So that's that's how I did it. And that was way before anybody called the 6 to 6, but they ain't got the same, they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
That was way before that. Like 90 nickels, like my promotion company, my my imprint, and then I own iTour Agency. So iTour Agency is the booking agency that I'm a partner in.
Okay, and that's how you bring like Snoop Dogg, for example, or like whoever, like Sean Kingston.
Yeah, so like Snoop Dogg tour was ours. All the Tech 9 tours are ours. Sean Kingston, Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap in Europe was us. All Mad Child stuff, like Mad Child's.
Yeah.
So Mad Child signed for management to 90 Nickel, and then his bookings are signed to ITA.
Oh, okay.
So Mad Child, we do a lot of work with, because my partner's been working with Mad Child since day one.
Was it like a conscious decision to stay independent? Like,
at first I thought it was like the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it was like the hype at that point when I kind of first started. But like right now, like literally at this exact moment, like all morning I've been on the phone with 2 different labels, and literally in the last like 3-4 months, I've probably turned down 6 or 7 deals. To be honest with you and completely transparent, I'm a Canadian artist, so I get grant money. For me, it's like I just got to make good music. That's anybody what they should be worried about. But, you know, I've always felt like I had the structure. But right now, I'm really looking at a deal. As long as it's proper, but I'm Canadian. I want to keep my rights in Canada because of Star Maker, because of Factor, because of Ontario Arts Council, Toronto Arts Council. Bro, there's so much help that we have if things are done correctly. And like, I show all the artists I fuck with about that stuff. Where I turned down a deal in Japan that the money was crazy. Like, it was like, it almost didn't make sense. But they saw what was going on beyond just the music with me, but my business and some other things. So the money was crazy, but I'm like, these guys won't know what the fuck to do with my album, because they don't know what's going on here, and they don't know what's going on where I want to be. So it's like, I'm gonna get a big bag out of these guys, but I'm probably gonna flop the whole project.
What do you think about artists going to the States, or do you have an opinion on that? Like artists like Killy or something going to the States, and like not really staying in Canada, being a Canadian artist.
I mean, the first time I was in LA, I got more done in 7 days than I got done here in 6 months.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Met more people. I sat down with the head of most labels, not like just going in for A&R meetings, like sitting down with the vice president of Interscope or the vice president of, at that time, of Def Jam was Steve Careless. So sitting down with him and seeing Nipsey and them, like, I literally did, like, you go out for breakfast and Nipsey and Lauren were having breakfast right beside us. And, you know, the guy who's here produces movies. So there's just a lot more people already in the industry because the demographic is more direct and it's bigger. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, anywhere you got to go. Like me going to Europe was crazy for my business and crazy for my music. It was an amazing place for me to go. So I think that, you got to get up and move. And I think with the younger generation of the industry right now in Toronto, they're doing an unbelievable job of that. Like they're better at that than any of us are, because they're just, I don't know, more inclined to understanding. Maybe their knowledge is better, that they should be doing that, but they're all doing well doing it.
The first big feature that I saw from you when I was like living in Oshawa was probably like Tory Lanez on your Married to Success thing. So talk about that project actually a little bit, because you know you got Zoe Darla's on that too.
Yeah. That was my EP. They like surrounded my On a Wave record. So I had my single On a Wave that was really big at radio, like top 40 radio, and I had a record called All the Time with Tory Lanez on there. I had a record called Run It Up with Zoe Dollars on there, and then I had a record called Change Your Life that I love with Zoe Dollars that was on there. And I think Riff Raff was on that project too. I think I had a record with him.
Last track.
Called Time to Ball. So that was like just an EP. That project was to surround On a Wave coming out. Because it's like, you know, to have a single playing and to not have a project coming. So that was like, okay, what do I got? This heat right now. I got to put it together and put it out.
How did some of the features come about? Like Tory was just from like business, or?
Tory was my best friend was one of my other best friends died, named Brooklyn. Brooklyn was a really big rapper from Winnipeg, part of a group called Winnipeg's Most. And he's a native artist. Him, a guy named John C. and Charlie Fetta had a group called Winnipeg's Most. But Brooklyn was huge. Damn. Like Toronto wouldn't have, it's not a good way to put it, but they didn't give a fuck. about a rapper from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
But the rest of Canada, bro, these guys were making $15,000 a night playing reserves. These guys were making $10,000 a night playing venues out there, like the three of them. And I'm talking about when we were kids.
Damn.
So Brooklyn was really in the business, and he was like, we were very similar, but he was a hothead, and he was a street, like he's really, I'm a hustler, but he was a street guy. And he had so much going on in the business, and me and him, we actually put an album out together called Two Sides to a Story after he passed away. I put it out with his mom, but we had recorded it previously. But one day Brooklyn called me and he's like, yo, you know who Tory Lanez is? And like, this is like just when Tory Lanez started popping. And I'm like, yeah, of course I fucking know who he is. He's like, yo, I'm doing something with him tonight. You want to do something with him? Go to the studio he's going to and do something with him. I'll put you on FaceTime, whatever. So that's how we connected. I had put Tory on a show years before that as like an opening artist.
Okay.
They had asked to get on a show, so I put him on as support. But we didn't, I think we got introduced that night, but whatever. I went to the studio with him and recorded that track, and it was literally like, you know, right as he was popping. Europe was really dope with Fetty. The European tour that we just did was really good. Fetty would come on stage with me every night when I perform on a wave before his set. So it changed the dynamic of my set by him and like the dynamic of me as an artist.
True.
Because it's like the headliner ain't supposed to come out before his set. Like I've never seen that ever. Yeah. So it was like he would come out like in these cities with me and do that. So it would change my dynamic with the crowd and how people perceive me. But like just like me and him and his team, like we stayed in Florence, Italy for like 3 days and ate at the same restaurant 4 times because it was so good, and you know, things like that. So like seeing Europe, because I'm not a touristy person at all. I've been in my hotel room on 420 in Whistler. Like I ain't even go outside my hotel room. Like I don't really get into all that. But Europe was really good just to see. We touched like 20 countries or something like that. It was crazy. What I like about Fetty is he ain't like an industry dummy. Like he's on his own tip. He cares about his own people. He cares about his team, and he's not really like, he's not fake at all. Like I never really met an artist that really gave a fuck the way he did. Like he's given me a lot of opportunities off of the opportunities I've helped provide with him.
Okay.
Which is crazy because it's not like he can't book his own Canadian tour, but we booked it for him. He's still the guy that they're booking, but like I booked that for him, and then he goes an extra mile on some shit for me, and we booked his European tour, so he goes the extra mile for shit on me, and like, you know, so he's done. I feel like he's done more in the industry as an artist to artist for me than any artist that I've ever fucked with has ever done for me. Tech Nine has been coming back here with us for 7 years straight.
Damn.
Snoop Dogg's coming back with us again. You know, there's Fetty Wap we've done a bunch of tours for. So the Locks, I did every tour I can remember of theirs. Wu-Tang, the Wu-Tang members. Like there is repetitive business, and things cannot be perfect in business.
So what are you doing to, like, with all this COVID shit, with your touring and music? And
at first I thought we were like super fucked. Like I thought, you know, like, cause that's how everybody in the music industry is talking and shit. Yeah. But we kind of just adjusted. Like my industry is obviously based on, you know, gatherings and people being in small confined rooms and big stadiums and things like that. So right now we're booking online shows with an app for artists. And, you know, it'll be really good for the fans. It'll be free, or it'll be very small, minimal tickets. And we're booking like really big artists. Like we've signed contracts off on like 12 different artists. So it'll all start coming out in the next like week or two. It's like what Tory did on YouTube, or like what these guys are doing on Instagram Live, but they're not getting paid for it. So it's super corny. Like it works to a point, but there's a point where like you need to remember that you don't perform for free. So you know, you got to turn it back to the business. And it's hard right now. Everybody's trying to figure out how to do business, right? If someone else goes platinum, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt me. That helps me. Drake being bigger helps me. As a Canadian trying to do business, it helps me that Drake's big. It helps me that Tory's big. It helps me that Press is big. Because if people know, you're from Toronto, you know Pressa? Oh, you're from Toronto, do you know Drake?
Yeah.
That's, you know, oh, you're from Toronto, do you know this person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it helps. It's got all the eyes go on your city when that's going on, right? Somebody found a flyer the other day and sent it to me. Me and Drake performed together in Peterborough in 2009, sorry. Yeah. And the promoter said to me, he's like, no, bro, like, I opened for Drake that night. I know I did, but there was like 12 people there. It was crazy. Wow. It was like literally, I think it was before he dropped the record with Trey Songz.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said to you before when we were just talking, like, people take us more serious because of him. People take us more serious because of a lot of artists now, but it was first him in my eye, and Cardinal for sure. But it was different with Drake and everybody. Like, it's just, it was a different level. It was astronomically different. So yeah, I definitely did. It's helped me make money. Like, I'm not associated with OVO. I don't got nothing to do with them. I see them. We hail each other up.
Yeah.
Super respectful guy. Always has been. Team's always been good with me. I put those guys on shows before they were doing certain, like, before they were like really big.
Blowing up.
So yeah, I've definitely felt the effect. Jay-Z to me is my favorite rapper of all time. Biggest rapper to me, but my generation, he's the biggest rapper in 50 Cent. Drake's that to the whole fucking, to like 2 different generations.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like Drake, some people will tell you he's the greatest rapper ever, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard that.
Of course you've heard that, because it's fucking true. But Jay-Z's also the best rapper ever.
Yeah.
Biggie's also the best rapper ever. Some people say Pac is. Some people say other people like that I'm not even thinking of. I got my album coming called 23 and a half. It's like an album EP type shit. It'll basically be out probably June 5th. I think that's what's coming out. And I got this record on there right now, my single out with Fetty, called If It's You. And the video's out, record's out, it's going to radio right now. So that's moving right now. And then I dropped a video with Ghostface Killah as well.
Dope.
I dropped a video of the song with him. And I got another single coming out like June 5th, same time the album drops. I got like the biggest single I ever had. I just don't know if it'll be on this project.
Oh, okay.
And it's like super done with 2 really big artists.
Yeah?
Yeah, like 2 of the biggest in the world. No.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy, though. So you might not put that on this album? You might wait, or what's the plan with that?
My wait is really big, bro.
Damn.
Literally, like, arguably 2 of the biggest rappers in the world.
That's sick.
So.
That's sick. I guess, like, you want to be able to tour and stuff.
Off of that, 100%.
Yeah.
Fetty Wap record, too, because the Fetty Wap record is going to work at radio, so I should be doing a radio promo run at the same time. So, but I wanted to stay active during all this COVID shit.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to stay sane. So I kind of put my head into my business.